We only get 2 subclasses in Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. So which one you want to do first?
Yes, today we'll be talking about the College of Spirits Bard.
I'm Nerdarchy Ted.
I'm Nerdarchy Steve. Welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds.
Now let's get into the spirit of this Bard College.
All right, I'm going to grab my handy-dandy device to pull up the College of Spirits Bard on D&D Beyond.
And I'm reaching into the, dead tree version here.
The College of Spirits Bard kind of gives me a ancestral guardians feel from the Primal Pass of the Barbarian.
Absolutely.
And this is one of the, like we mentioned already, the only 2 subclasses in Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. So we're going to kind of get our first official Bard subclass that is kind of tinged with a bit of a necromantic feel.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun, a lot of flavor here. It's completely fitting of the Ravenloft theme. And, some of those elements of, super spirits, could wind up, dovetailing into a nice barbarian.
Yeah, it also makes me think of some of the mediums that go on TV and do these big shows. They're mostly entertainers, right? For the most part. So sure, why not have a bard that does the same thing, a subclass, just for those folks?
Absolutely.
So before we go any further, just to let you know, if you wanted to pick up a copy of Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft, you can shoot over to Amazon using our link. It's an affiliate link. We get a slight kickback when that happens, and we appreciate it. Help support the channel. If you want to pick up your own copy, also, if you happen to be a member of the Nerdarchy newsletter, where every week we throw out news, views, and homebrews for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, and sometimes we even talk about other things over there. We also run contests through that newsletter, and we have a small stack of Van Richten's Guides to Ravenloft. So over the next couple of months, we will be giving out copies of that, in addition to a bunch of other things that we tend to do and put into that pile. It's usually worth anywhere from $50 to $300, depending on how crazy we get with things. With that, let's jump into this Bard College.
Bard College of Spirits seeks tales with inherent power, be they legends, histories, or fictions, and bring their subjects to life. Using occult trappings, these bards conjure spiritual embodiments of powerful forces to change the world once more. Such spirits are capricious, though, and what a bard summons isn't always entirely under their control.
So like I said, there's that total medium kind of feel to it, where you're holding seances, or even maybe you're in the tent with the crystal ball and it's dark, and people are coming to see you to get their fortunes told or talk to their loved ones that passed. All that is totally fitting and works.
And, you could totally, sometimes you use spirits, sometimes you use illusions and some deception.
Prestidigitation, whatever it takes to get your clients what they need.
If you'd like to help Nerdarchy keep making videos like this one, why not check us out over on Patreon?
As a thank you, every month we make 5e content for players and DMs alike. You'll find subclasses, monsters, magic item cards that are print and play. We'll be uploading the podcast version of the Nerdarchy live chats that we do every day over on that channel. So if you just want the audio, maps that we use in our own game, and more, go over to Patreon and help support us if you like what we do over here, and get some cool stuff while you're at it. Now let's jump back into our College of Spirits Bard.
First thing they get is Guiding Whispers. 3rd level, you can reach out to the spirits to guide you and others. You learn the Guidance cantrip, which doesn't count against the number of Bard cantrips. For you, it has a range of 60 feet when you cast it.
So first of all, Guidance is one of the best cantrips in the game, and it comes in super handy. And now you can do it at a range. Barbarian, over there is making, athletics checks. Boom! Take a die 4 to that roll along with your advantage, because you're probably raging anyway. Thief is on the other end of the other side of the chasm that he just tight-roped walked across in order to, lower the drawbridge. Not a drawbridge, that's completely different. So the rest of the party can get over. Now, even though they're all the way over there, you can be like, boom, here, have some guidance from my spirit friends. Spiritual focus is also a third level ability. You employ tools that aid you in channeling spirits, be they historical figures or fictional archetypes. You can use the following objects as spellcasting focus for your bard spells: a candle, crystal ball, skull, spirit board, or tarot deck. Starting at 6th level, when you cast a bard spell that deals damage or restores hit points through the spiritual focus, roll a die 6 and gain that bonus to 1 damage or healing roll of the spell equal to the number rolled. That's super awesome. And also, too, like, it really is great for things like Healing Word, where, you know, it's one of the few healing spells you can use at a range. It's a bonus action, but it doesn't heal that much.
Right.
So an extra die 6 is, you know, you more than doubled it, right? It's like
Yeah.
adding a spell and a half level.
Yeah, that's going to be incredibly useful. And, you know, there's not a limitation there. It's if you're using one of these foci, you just get a bonus if you're damaging or healing. That's what most spells do. So,
and you can like go full on Willie Shakespeare talking to the skull, you know, as you cast your spell.
Absolutely. And I like to see that, you know, they're bringing the tarot deck, which has, you know, been a narratively an element of fun. Now it can actually be a focus. So I dig that.
Yeah, I mean, it can be super fun, super cool. Like, oh, look, I'm casting healing and you draw the chalice card, or, you know, you're doing a damaging spell and it's the death card or the warrior card or something.
But we're not done with the third level bonuses. We get Tales from Beyond. You reach out to spirits who tell their tales through you. While you're holding your spiritual focus, you can use a bonus action to expend 1 use of your bardic inspiration and roll on the spirits table using your bardic inspiration die to determine the tale the spirits direct you to tell. You retain the tale in mind until you bestow the tale's effect or you finish a short or long rest. You can use an action to choose one creature you can see within 30 feet of you, this can be you, to be the target of the tale's effect. Once you do so, you can't bestow the tale's effect again until you roll it again. You can retain only one of these tales in mind at a time, and rolling on the spirit tables immediately ends the effect of the previous tale. If the tale requires a saving throw, the DC equals your spell save DC. And, you know, as you would expect, because we have a, you know, Bard gets inspiration up to a D12, the tales is a D12 roll, so obviously those upper tier are going to be better abilities that you're not going to get until your Bard class gets you a high enough tier and you roll it. So I like that format. I think that's a really neat idea.
Yeah, and then they have evocative names like Tale of the Clever Animal, Tale of a Renowned Duelist, Tale of Beloved Friends, Tale of Runaway, Tale of the Avenger, Tale of the Traveler, Tale of the Beguiler, Tale of the Phantom, Tale of the Brute, Tale of the Dragon, Tale of the Angel, Tale of the Mindbender. And you can see, like, as you go up in the die, like, the names get more powerful, you know, as do the abilities get a bit stronger as well.
Indeed.
I mean, one of them, Tale of the Dragon, we won't go through them all. I'm just going to pick this one out. Tale of the Dragon, you need a die 10 to even have a shot at this one. Target spews fire from mouth in a 30-foot cone. Each creature in the area must make a dexterity saving throw, taking fire damage equal to 4 rolls of your bardic inspiration die on a failed save and half as much on a successful one. So we are talking about 4 die 10 or 4 die 12 in a 30-foot cone. Not bad at all.
And again, that's building on those elements of as your die increases, so does this ability. And I really feel that that's a beautifully written mechanic.
Yeah. So Spirit Session, 6th level. Spirits provide you with supernatural insights. You can conduct an hour-long ritual channeling spirits, which can be done during a short or long rest using your spiritual focus. You can conduct the ritual with a number of willing creatures equal to your proficiency bonus, including yourself. At the end of the ritual, you temporarily learn one spell of your choice from any class. The spell you choose must be of a level equal to the number of creatures that conducted the ritual or less. The spell must be a spell level you can cast. It must be in the school of divination or necromancy. The chosen spell counts as a bard spell for you, but doesn't count against the number of bard spells you know. Once you perform this ritual, you can't do so again until you start a long rest. You know the chosen spell until the start of a long rest. So essentially, it's just giving you another spell that you can know. Which any of the classes where you know, you have a limited number, that's super useful. But also, like, it's a spell from any spell list, too.
Yes. You know, you're limited to divination or necromancy, which is useful. But, you know, if you want to walk that borderline between, you know, good guy, bad guy with, you know, having access to spirits. It gives you that kind of choice. And because it's something that you can do every day, and technically, oh, I'm going to do this, you know, as part of my long rest each day. Like, yeah, it can kind of get annoying when your party members to be like, oh, look, I need to sit here for an hour with you. But at the same time, like, you're getting to change something new out of your spell book, which isn't just, oh, when you finish a short or long rest, do the, you know, change out a spell. You know, there's role playing that could potentially happen with it.
You hold a seance essentially every time.
14th level, we get Mystical Connection. You now have the ability to nudge the spirits of Tales from Beyond towards certain tales. Whenever you roll on a Spirit Tales table, you can roll the die twice and choose which of the two effects to bestow. If you roll the same number on both dice, you can ignore that number and choose the effect on the table. Which I dig.
Yeah, so, you know, it's super cool. We also get a little sidebar with it called Spirit Tales. Storytellers, like bards of the College of Spirits, often give voice to tales inspired by some greater theme or body of work. When determining what stories you tell, consider what unites them. Do they all feature characters from a specific group? Like archetypes from the Torah deck, figures from constellations, childhood imaginary friends, or a character in a particular storybook? Or are your inspirations more general, incorporating historic champions, mythological heroes, or urban legends? Use the tales you tell to define your niche as a storytelling adventurer.
Which anytime you're gonna, you know, get into, you know, creating role-playing tips with specific class abilities, I'm always gonna dig that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's cool, and I like the idea of doing a theme. Like I said earlier, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Path of the Ancestral Guardians. Like that would be a theme. Like these are the tales of your family have been told by your family throughout the ages, right? And for whatever reason, you are a conduit to them. Maybe it's because you carry around a book of family heraldry or something, or you know the skull you have is actually one of your ancestors. You know that is your spell casting focus. So you know there's great role playing elements that you can add into it, and you know it gives the player a little bit of agency to carve out a little niche of the world, even if it's not like the ancestral guardian aspect like your family, but even like myths and legends. If your DM's willing to work with you and give you some leeway here, you can add some interesting and cool concepts into the game.
Absolutely. And that kind of stuff, you know, you can build right into your character sheet, you know, in that note section of like, oh, you know, you've got, you know, uncle and grandfather and great great grandfather, and you begin, you know, marking little deeds and things that they've done. And, you know, perhaps it's, you know, stealing right out of, you know, the Dritz novels of like, oh, well, we want to go find this ancient dwarven, you know, stronghold of legend, you know, or like, oh, perhaps you want to find a lost family heirloom that was, you know, lost when your great uncle went missing several generations back. Like you could take any of these things and incorporate that into the tale, and even if the DM doesn't incorporate into the main campaign, that still is giving your character drive and focus because it's something that you want to do.
Well, you know, also like I'm thinking about this in the with context of the rest of this book, and I instantly go to the Reborn, the idea that you're many creatures that have been stitched back together, so you're like a Frankenstein's monster, right? Well, what if the spirits and ghosts and tales that you're telling are from each of those people have been assembled to make you,
Yeah.
right? Like you have the brain of one particular person, and like maybe that's the driving personality, but the rest of you is made of all these other components. Maybe there's 12 of them, right? And eventually you can access them all through your tales. So this is fun, both mechanically and story-wise. I think this is a really good Bard College.
I 100% agree. There's definitely so much there to work with. It's super inspiring, possibly one of the most inspiring subclasses to date.
What do you folks think? You know, have you tried this yet? Did you play the UA? Are you going to play this? What kind of characters do you want to use to build? Let us know down in the comments.
Down there, don't forget to do all those things that make the YouTube algorithm happy. Like, share, subscribe, even, you know, click that notification bell.
And as always, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we drop new Nerdarchy videos. But if you can't wait that long, you want to see another video where we talk about Ravenloft and Van Richten's guide to it, you can look up here and find the video where we talk about the dark gifts.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.